Our next guest doesn't really need an introduction. You've only got to look at him, you know who he is.
We're going to give it her anyway.
So Roger Moore, he's a British institution, best known for portraying two British action heroes, actually three. Simon Templar in the television series The Saint, and James Bond in no less than 7 films. And before...
The Persuaders.
Well, and The Persuaders, and Ivanhoe. Before all that.
Also, of course, his tireless commitment to the work of UNICEF that he's perhaps most respected for, and he talks a lot about it in his autobiography. It's just been published, and we're very pleased to say you've seen him already. He joins us. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Sean. Good morning, Bill.
I'm so delighted you came in, and Sir Roger gave me a little peck on the...
He did.
Oh, I also want to give you this.
Oh.
Well, I was having my porridge at about 5 to 7, and I heard you say you cried reading.
Really?
And I can't even remember which bits I cried at. It's ridiculous, because it's a fun book.
It was probably when they kissed Grace Jones.
Perhaps, yes, maybe it was. You said that you wanted this to be a fun book. No dirt dishing.
No.
No tawdriness.
No.
None of that sort of stuff.
No, it's determined. I say that up front. If you want tittle-tattle, go and buy the News of the World.
Yes.
Don't read
Although
my book.
it's interesting, you're very kind about... People you name, you're very kind about.
Yes.
And then occasionally there's the story of the American actress who did this, or so-and-so who did that. And then you tell the story which doesn't show them in a great light, but you don't name them, which is very gentlemanly.
Well, you can't name and shame. That is absolutely terrible. You have to be, as my wife said before I left this morning, she said, be nice about everybody.
Yes. Well, it doesn't hurt, does it?
Yeah.
Yours was the very first film I ever saw, Live and Let Die, in a cinema.
Really?
Yes. So I feel as though I've grown up, and then The Persuaders...
She's only 19.
Yeah.
Well, it was 70-something, wasn't it? Early 70s.
For you, it was 92. It was actually 73.
And you were the longest-serving Bond, is that right?
I made 7 for Saltzman of Broccoli, but Sean made 6 for Cubby and Harry, Broccoli, but he made one extra, which wasn't a Broccoli Saltzman film. So he did 7,
Right.
but only 6 were proper Bonds. He did Never Say Never Again.
Of course, yes.
I think it's sort of almost unfortunate that people think so much about you as James Bond, because there are so many other things you did, and when we talked about Ivanhoe and the Maverick, people have forgotten about.
And there was one that's not even seen here, which was The Alaskans.
Yes, exactly. But you were born in Stockwell.
Indeed.
So did you have a London accent?
I don't know. My mother was born in Calcutta, but her family were North Country and Midlands. My grandfather was in King's Own South.
Your dad was very handsome, wasn't he? That's where you
Well, that's my dad.
Mm.
That pretty little thing with all the curls was me. Oh, wouldn't that be wonderful? I heard you talking about genetic baldness and everything else, but they just didn't say what the cure is.
You've got a fine head of hair.
No, I thought I was going bald when I was 20, and I had everything done. I had, at one point, living in California, a friend of Dorothy Squires was a hairdresser, and he believed in the marrow bone from sheep, and so he put all these sheep bones in the oven and get all this terrible fat up, rub it in my hair, and I walked around smelling like a farmyard. I was supposed to grow hair. I had things that made... but I think the genetic thing is, if you're going to have grey hair, you probably won't go bald. And I noticed that the gentleman who had the thick curly hair was grey around the side, and the other fellow didn't. There was no grey there, and I have no grey. I'm getting on.
Yeah, there you are.
My mother didn't have grey hair. My father didn't have grey hair, and he was 93.
And you've always been devilishly good looking, which has always helped, of course, hasn't it, really? Have you, of all the characters you played, though, because we mentioned a few of them, which was the favourite thing you did? Was Bond the favourite, or was it the Persuaders, or was it that?
Simon Templar.
Or was it Simon Templar?
Well, I enjoyed all of them. I love making, working, sort of being with the film crew and camera crew. Good evening, gentlemen. Good morning. Because it's great fun. It's like making Bond and The Saint was like every day going and seeing lots of friends.
I watched one of your Saints just the other day, in the middle of the day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wasn't there as well at the end of, and you did more than 100 episodes of The Saint. At the end of it, there was sort of like a buddy episode where, what's The Saint? You teamed up with an American, and it sort of almost was the forerunner, or felt like it was. It would become The Persuaders.
Yeah, the idea when we did it was that let's see whether this buddy would work, because Bob Baker, who's my partner in in The Saint, thought it would be a good idea to do this thing. And it always works. Two men who are very different. They have the same objective, but they go about different ways, which is Spencer Tracy and Clark Gable in the old days. It works. Jack Nicholson, not Jack Nicholson, yes. No, not Jack, yes,
who?
no.
Jack Lemmon.
Forget it.
Walter
Yeah.
Matthau.
Jack Lemmon,
thank you.
well done,
Walter
yes.
Matthau, wonderful combination.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you wanted Tony Curtis, didn't you? Of all the people who were offered.
Yes, because I felt Tony was such a funny character, great comedian, and also a very, very good actor.
You were very polite about him, but he was quite hard work, wasn't he?
Oh, no,
Was he
well, Tony didn't really like sticking to the script, which made life a little difficult. So when you shut your lips, Tony, I will speak. No, but we had a good time.
Did he
We had a
really?
lot of
He'd
laughs.
make things up as he went along?
Yes, but off the wall. And, but he's funny. He's a,
Dear sweet Bill, how nice to see you. Can I call you Bill or shall I call you William?
Very sweet.
And you're looking divine.
I've got to say, you have been up. You had some great co-stars and done magnificently against. I think you kind of met your match. Do you remember a couple of years ago when you came back as Bond very, very briefly for a Children in Need appearance?
Yeah.
Have a look at this.
yeah, there was a very good-looking gentleman I had to.
Oh, I didn't know we were running there.
We had about 40.
Name's Bond. James Bond.
Hang on. I am Bond. James Bond.
You do very good eyebrow.
Eyebrows. I
But
learned from the master. Do you still do that? You can still. Oh, look at
Yes.
that.
You say do it again. Yeah, you say in the book that what you realise from moving from stage to screen is that the raising of the eyebrow that you do on the stage can be seen by one person in the front row. You do it on.
Do it says goes up 20 feet.
When was your first eyebrow raising moment?
I have no idea.
Presumably, was it Simon Templar?
It must be, but the eyebrow thing came about because, I've always been sort of slightly deprecating about my talent, and I said, I have three expressions, left eyebrow up, right eyebrow up, and not putting eyebrows up at all. And if you say things, they stick.
Yeah.
There were some people who urged you not to go for Bond, and I think you say it was it
Lou
Lou
Grade.
Grade? He said it would ruin you
Ruin your career. Roger, don't ruin your career.
because he wanted, presumably, because he wanted you to stay in television.
Yeah, I would be available.
Yeah.
Exactly, and of course it didn't. Must have been. Here we are, Spy Who Loved Me. We've got. They must have been extraordinary times, though, were they?
It's been an extraordinary time since 1927 when I
Yeah.
first saw the light of day.
What struck me about the Bond, you're writing about Bond though, is you always think, oh, it's a lavish production, no expense spared, etc. And then at one point in Thailand, you were sort of staying in a hut with a hole in the floor, as far as I can make out.
No, that was the bathroom. It had a hole in the floor.
Okay.
There was not a sit-down thing. There were 2 footmarks. And you had to
Well,
squat
could they
over
put you
the-
up in the Bangkok Hilton?
Well, there weren't any Bangkok Hiltons because we were shooting in a place. We were billeted in a place called Phang Nga, which was an hour's boat ride every morning to get out to Phi Phi Island, which became the Bond Island.
Yeah.
So we had to put up with what the locals had to offer. The art department had been down there a few months before, and they found this 6-bedroomed hotel, for want of a better name, and Cubby had one, Cubby Broccoli had one, Christopher Lee had one, Britt Eklund and Maud Adams had another room. And the air conditioning was, and one floor, one step down was the bathroom, where there was a sink that you couldn't put your head over to wash
Yeah,
your face.
yeah.
It was like that. And
So very
so I'd have a shower, shampoo, shave like this, sitting on the 2 footsteps.
Marvellous. Well, it saves time, I suppose. Right?
Yeah, Cubby said he went one better. He placed a broom. What, he placed a broom
Yes, he
somewhere,
placed a
and
broom.
he swept the room out at the same time.
Very good.
Slightly more seriously.
Yes.
You've been a UNICEF ambassador for how long?
18 years
18
now.
years.
very happy to do so.
Yeah. And actually, quite a bit of your book is taken up with your work in UNICEF because it's very important, isn't it, to what you do?
Well, if you think that the statistics when I started in UNICEF were that 40,000 children died a day. 40,000 children died of preventable
day.
causes. And the figure dropped to 30,000, but there's still 30,000 too many. Oh dear, I think that must be Ghana.
It's Ghana, yes, we've
Yeah,
been told
about
it's
8
Ghana.
years ago.
Yeah,
8 years ago.
2000. So that's work that obviously you're going to continue doing, but it must mean that you travel a lot.
Yes, this year, because I was writing the book, I just did a couple of fundraisers and
Yeah.
no field trips. My next move is to, in January, that's again fundraising and awareness, going to Ireland. I don't know why they want me to go and talk in Ireland. They've got sort of great UNICEF ambassadors like Liam Neeson and
They've
Pierce
never had an
Brosnan.
Irish James Bond, though, have they, you see?
Yeah, Pierce.
Oh, of course they
Of course, yes.
He'll never come back
Nope,
after that.
that's it. He's a goner.
I won't tell him.
It's lovely to see you.
It was so nice you have me on, and thank you very much.
Pleasure.
Look, you see?
You're going to keep that now?
Oh,
That's it.
yeah, this isn't going on eBay.
No.
No, really.
So, Roger Moore, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Pleasure to see you.
We're going from one night to another now. Sir Michael Parkinson is going to be
Yes.
with us in a minute.
Yes, and we were saying the link between the two of them. Sir Roger Moore used to model knitwear
That his mother did, but
that his mother designed.
I'm not going to talk about my book, but I talk about Parky's book, and it is beautifully written.
It is, isn't it?
And there is one paragraph on page 5 that he's talking about his grandmother. He said she didn't talk very much, and because of her deafness, she was imprisoned in silence and solitude. She didn't go out. She always wore a pinafore. Wonderful vision.
Yeah, brilliantly. He's sort of brief, sparse, but gets everything together very quickly.
So tell him to talk about my book.